Hey everybody, welcome back to another installment here today. Are you guys ready for some Modern? Because, I definitely am. For those of you that, know me, or maybe have watched my previous videos, you'll know that I had just actually graduated. So I just wanted to thank all of you for your patience and understanding. It's been quite a hectic, 2.5 weeks. I haven't really been able to record. I have been able to play a lot, but not record, unfortunately. And to give you guys a little update, I was actually planning to go to SCG Baltimore, but I was not able to make it, unfortunately. But I was going to represent Saheeli. That was the goal, and this list that's in front of you here is one that's probably, maybe 1 or 2 cards off from what I was going to be playing. But this is the list, and I know you Saheeli fans are probably going to be very excited about it. And yeah, let's start talking about some of the card choices here, right? So if you've watched my previous Saheeli videos, you'll know that this list is actually very similar to what I've been playing in the past. However, we're taking a bit of diversion from the classic mid-range style list, and we're going for a slightly more control. Now, there's only a few card differences that really changed, but let's get into it. First, I want to preface that with one of the members from MTG Salvation, the forums that I, really started to dig deeper into Saheeli with. He actually got, I believe, 25th place at Grand Prix Copenhagen with Saheeli, which is amazing considering very few people actually play the deck. And making it to 25th place, I think he went 12-3 was his record. And I don't recall how many people ended up showing up to that Grand Prix. But it was well over the thousands. So 25th place out of 1,000+ people is quite an accomplishment, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Hummel9, I think his name is. He really did some great work with his deck. Just wanted to give a shout out, congratulations. And then moving on. All right, so now we can talk about the deck. So this list is very similar to what he was playing. With a few differences that I made from my experiences after playtesting the deck, for the past 2 days, basically. Because I wanted to give you guys, a tuned list with some good content, and hopefully we'll be able to produce some good games here. So, in general, you have basically the core of your deck: 4 Path, 4 Bolt, 4 Serum Visions. It's very hard to deviate from this core. Lightning Bolt has gotten slightly better with Counter's Company in the meta. So Bolt, a lot of people who are scared because of Death Shadow, Bolt, it's still a fantastic card. I would not play less than 4. Now we have 4 Spreading Seas. Now you've seen me play 3 in the past. I think 4 is the correct number though. Not only because it digs you deeper to your combo, but the disruption is really helpful. Like there's many times where I've gone, turn 1 Bolt, turn 2 Spreading Seas, turn 3 Saheeli, and it's really hard for my opponent to cast their spells. So I definitely think this is one of the best cards in the deck, especially, in combination with Feldar Guardian. Alright, now you have your 4 Remand. I think it's a 4 of. I think it's part of the core. I think you can't really cut remands, but I have seen lists, be successful with, 2 or even 3. Remand, great card. Wall of Omens, self-explanatory in the sense that, it draws you a card, it's early protection. A lot of people want to cut this from the list, but I've had a lot of success with Wall of Omens, mostly because it's a cantrip, which means it's always going to replace itself, no matter what. And it's a target for Saheeli's -2, which is a little underrated. There's a lot of times where I go turn 2 Wall of Omens, turn 3 Saheeli, tick down, just to draw a card. Especially if I know that my opponent is going to kill Saheeli anyways, for whatever reason. That just nets me an extra card. And if they spend like, Boros Charm or anything like that, it's just nice to have it in the deck. And of course, just another target for Feldar Guardian. V-Click, great card. I wouldn't play too many of them, obviously. I think 2 at most. Maybe 1 main, 1 side. I'm not doing that today, but V-Click just really helps clear the way for the combo, or combat control or combo decks. Just disrupt them a bit, things like that. But now that we got through that, you got the combo package, that's not the interesting part anymore. If you're familiar with Saheeli and, even just a little bit from Standard, you'll know that this package right here goes infinite, and that's basically the way you try to win the game. It's your main win condition, but it's not your only win condition. So let's talk about the rest of the deck. Now we have 2 Supreme Verdicts. Verdict is just really well positioned right now. Yes, it's going to be dead in some matchups, but that's why we only run 2. And it can be really, really clutch to clear the board in a really timely manner. On turn 4, sometimes your opponent just gets out of control. If you survive that, to sweep the board against Revolt Zoo or Counter Company, or even against Death Shadow or Eldrazi-tron. There's Affinity, I could go on. There's so many cards, so many decks that Supreme Verdict is just really strong against, that we just can't deal with any other card in our deck. So that's why we're playing Supreme Verdict. Normally I had Pia Kira Nalaar in this slot right here. I think Pia Kira Nalaar is just a little, it's still a great card, don't get me wrong, but I think it's less, not as well positioned right now with so many big threats out there. I do like the ability to just clean up the board. All right, so now let's get into it. We got Jace, Architect of Thought, a card that I normally had in the sideboard. I think it's actually a really powerful main board though. First of all, it really helps deal with Lingering Souls, which is all over the place right now, or any other 1-power go wide sort of deck. Its -2 is always live, meaning it always will net you 1 or 2 cards once resolved. And its ability to, not combo, but, synergize with Feldar Guardian, ability to -2, blink it, -2 again, has drawn me 3 to 4 cards in one turn before, which really pulls you ahead in the grind against, decks like Grixis Control or Blue-White Control or Jund or Abzan or anything like that. Alright, and then last but not least, we have Batterskull. So Hummel in his 25th place deck list, he played a Gideon, ally of Zendikar, in this slot right here. Personally, I feel that Gideon doesn't do much for the deck. Yeah, it provides bodies on the ground and a fast clock, but I just feel like it doesn't exactly synergize well with the deck. And I found that a 1-of Batterskull not only is an ultimate target for Saheeli, in the grind, but its ability to provide you life gain, as well as being able to being re-flickered by Feldar Guardian. I've had a lot of opponents just, burn a Path to Exile on Batterskull, and then, Feldar Guardian next turn, blink the Batterskull, recreate the token, and that's just another threat for them to deal with. And then if they don't deal with that token, or if they do deal with that token, you can re-equip Batterskull to Feldar Guardian, or a Snapcaster Mage, or a V-Click, or, I think it's a really, really great card. Life gain is also really important. Burn is one of the most difficult matchups for this deck. One of the most difficult matchups. I think I've very, very rarely won a Game 1 against them. Game 2 gets a bit better, and we'll talk about the sideboard in a second. But a few changes I made to the mana base. I included 2 Spirebluff Canal to allow me to cast my 1-mana spells early without taking much damage. And I also added a second Plains in same regard. Helps against Blood Moon, and it also just allows me to cast my spells without taking too much damage, which is really important in my opinion. But we still have 2 Hollowed Fountain. We got was it 3 Scalding Tarns and an Arid Mesa. So I think the mana base is pretty strong right now. So let's talk about the sideboard. Sideboard, I tuned this sideboard to attack a very specific set of decks. The decks that are most troublesome for us to deal with. First up is Burn. We have 2 Blessed Alliance, 2 Timely Reinforcements, 2 Leyline of Sanctity. These cards will go a long way in helping you win the game. Of course, there's Dispel for that too. But these 3 cards, yeah, you could shave 1 Blessed Alliance, but I really am so afraid of the Burn matchup that I'm willing to devote this much sideboard space to it. It's a difficult matchup. We're not playing Spell Snare. We're not playing Lightning Helix. These are historically good cards from Jeskai that give the burn matchup, make the burn matchup a bit easier. We're not playing any of that. So we really have to devote a lot of sideboard space to dealing with burn or any sort of aggro deck. Next up, Dredge. Dredge is huge right now. At least in terms of the online meta, there's a lot of Dredge. It might be overrepresented, so if you're playing on paper, just, you know, be aware that that might not necessarily translate what I'm saying here to your real life tournaments. But Dredge just gets hosed by Rest in Peace and hosed by Anger of the Gods. And the beauty of both of these cards is they're not only for Dredge. Similar to the burn cards, you can bring them into other graveyard-based decks or go wide aggro decks. Especially because we're running 2 verdicts in the main board already. We're not too upset about devoting 2 sideboard slots to a faster sweeper, in a sense. The only thing to worry about is the double red and the mana base. So if you side this in, just make sure to fetch accordingly to make sure you can cast it when you need to. 2 Stony Sounds, it's hard to leave the house without 2 Stony Sounds. I mean, it really helps the Affinity matchup, the Eggs matchup, Lantern Control, a matchup which is also fairly horrible. And now Dispel handles combo decks, handles control decks. That's going to be your main reason to bring in Dispel. I'm not running any Negate today. I just think the sideboard space is so tight. But we're just going to stick with 2 Dispel and see how well it does. It can also, like I said, also works in the burn matchup, so don't forget about that. And now we just have this kind of game ender. There's going to be a lot of grindy decks out there. You know, there's Tron, Eldrazi Tron, Jund and Abzan, all these kind of decks where Elspeth is actually very powerful. So this is a card you side in when you expect games to go long. You need some sort of big finisher. And a lot of decks have a lot of trouble dealing with Elspeth. So definitely bring that in when you can. Alright, so that's the sideboard. Oh, I didn't talk about Leyline. But Leyline is also really strong. Running 2 is a bit odd. Hummel had 2 in his 25th place list. I didn't get a chance to talk to him about, you know, if that's, you know, something he liked, something he didn't like. But I'm going to go ahead and try it out. I used to have 2 Blood Moon in this spot. I didn't feel like Blood Moon was carrying its weight. So we're definitely going to try out this Leyline, see how well it is, how good it does. It helps in the bird matchup, helps against targeted discard. The only issue is, like, you know, late game it's not exactly that great, but we'll see. We'll see. This is the testing part of this video. I'm fairly certain the rest of the list is pretty powerful, but Leyline, we'll see if it holds up. All right, guys. I just wanted to thank you all so much one more time for tuning in with me here today. I know that it's been a while since my last video, but we have grown significantly. You know, we're you know, around 320 subscribers. That is a ton. You know, when I started making these videos, I did not think that I would ever reach this point. And I only have all of you to thank, all of you that support me, that watch the videos, and comment and like and all that good stuff. I really appreciate every single one of you. So thanks so much for watching this deck tech here. I hope that it helped you learn something about Saheeli if you haven't watched any of my previous Saheeli videos. And if you have watched my Saheeli videos, you know, I'll include a little link at the bottom to skip the deck tech. But yeah, thanks so much for watching this today, and stay tuned for the first round in a modern competitive league. See you soon. Hey guys, welcome to the first match here with Jeskai Saheeli. Looks like we won the die roll, and yes, we would like to be on the play. Let's take a look at our opener here. So we have Lightning Bolt to interact with on turn 1, and we have a Verdict and a Path, so this could be a good hand, and we have one piece of the combo. I'm going to keep. It's not the strongest hand, but it's definitely a keep. So let's go ahead and start with Steam Vents, tapped. This will only hurt if we need to turn 1 Bolt and we draw a 2-mana spell. So let's see what we're up against here. Goblin Guide. Okay, looks like it's the burn matchup. The one I talked about that was unfortunately very poor. So we're probably going to be bolting this Goblin Guide. The question is, do we want to lay down Colonnade first? Or go directly for the digging for Serum Visions. I think our mana is going to be pretty tied up for the rest of the game. So I'm actually going to go ahead and Serum Visions right now, just to avoid any trouble down the road. So now we have the combo in hand, which is really important to actually winning this game. It can be easily broken up, but we can try to, maybe assemble it, resolve a Guardian, and then they can't really tap out. So that's kind of what we're going to go for. So this Flooded Strand is going to be basically free because of the Goblin Guide trigger. Unless our opponent, decides to play an Eidolon first, in which case we won't get the trigger, but we're still probably going to bolt the Goblin Guide in response. So it's kind of an odd position. I still think an untapped land is going to be pretty good, though. Especially if our opponent... and I kept Bolt on top to answer an Eidolon, too, because I don't want to path Eidolon if it comes down. But yeah, this matchup is very difficult game 1. Like I said, we have a lot more hate game 2, but game 1 we're really just going to try to steal it from under them. So Basic Mountain probably indicates to me that they're Boros burn or Mono Red burn. Alright, looks like they're just going to go ahead and attack, and we're going to get our free Flooded Strand. And here is where we just go ahead and Lightning Bolt. Let's see what our opponent can do here. Grim Lavamancer, okay. Double Grim Lavamancer. Alright, so we could just set up for a Supreme Verdict here. Nothing wrong with that. They only have 2 cards in the graveyard, so I think I'm actually going to go for that. Let's see, if I play Saheeli, our opponent can easily kill her. So they could just attack her down. Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and set up for Supreme Verdict. This is, oddly enough, Verdict is actually going to be pretty strong here. Especially if they commit more creatures to the board. Let's see how they want to do this. We're at 17 life on turn, what is it, 4? Alright, no attacks. And here we're gonna try to get our value here. We could very easily be dead, so I hope I didn't make a mistake here. But these each require 2 mana to use. So yeah, they could fling a burn spell and use one of them, but that means we still got one of their Lavamancers. Of course, if they have a 1 mana burn spell. Yeah, that's worst case scenario, right? I mean, now they get to use each one. So a safer line might have just been Bolt Path, because card advantage is not necessarily important in a matchup like this, Preserving your life total is far more important. So that could have been the incorrect line there. But looks like our opponent doesn't have the kill yet, which is good. Here, I like just playing out one of my combo pieces. I'll blink the planes to keep up Path to Exile in case we need to use it. And next turn, we can hopefully Saheeli with Remand backup. Alright, that's 1 Lava Spike, land, and I think we go for it here. Mostly because if they don't break up the combo, then they have to send a burn spell at Saheeli. And looks like they're not doing anything yet. Alright, see, we got there. We just stole a game from burn somehow. So that's great. Now we can bring in all of our hate. We have a lot of it, let's just say that. Okay, so against burn, I like cutting all of the remands. Just because, yeah, it helps you protect the combo for a turn, but it doesn't do much more than that. I like also cutting some pieces of the combo. I like cutting one 1 Saheeli, 1 Felidar, and 1 Verdict. Just because they can be a little clunky. They don't do exactly what you want to do. And sometimes I cut V-Click. She does provide a clock, especially sometimes you do end up racing Burn. But actually, it's tough. I could cut a Path Exile, but we did see this was a creature-heavy version. Yeah, I'm going to cut the Vendilion Click. 3 pieces of each combo, coupled with some... actually, Jace might be pretty poor against Burn. So we could have either another Felidar Guardian. I think we want more Saheelis than Felidar, actually. I think that's what we want to do. Yep. Let's go ahead and run it back. Because we want more Saheelis because that's the card they can most interact with their burn spells. Path to Exile, yeah, can hit Felidar Guardian, but if they're boarding in paths against us, that makes me very, very happy. It'll be interesting to see if we can steal a game 1 here, an entire match here against Burn. You don't usually win game 1. It's very rare. Let's look at our opener here. It's a bit weak. We have Path, we have Spreading Seas, so that could be. I'm actually gonna I don't think it's powerful enough. This hand has the combo, and yeah. So we're gonna have to dig. Unfortunately, that first hand might have been a better keep. But we do have a lot of ways to gain life. So, wow. Alright, Grim Lavamancer right off the bat. Sure, I don't have a way to deal with that. Let's just go get a basic here. Start off with Serum Visions. No red mana yet, so we're going to go ahead and bottom both of those. Sure, Lava Spike. See if they want to attack here, if they just want to. So they're just going to sling 2 spells at our face here. Another Bolt. Sure. Let's go ahead and set up Wall of Omens. This will insulate us against any like Goblin Guides off the top or something like that. Alright, so there's our red source, but it's going to hurt. So we'll see how we want to sequence this depending on what our opponent does. Lightning Helix to our face, sure. Yeah, this Grim Lavamancer has gotten a ton of damage already. Blessed Alliance, great draw, great draw. Alright, so I could go Lightning Bolt. The issue with Flight Strand is, of course, it doesn't get me the basic red for this. I could go down to 6 and then up to 10. Or I could take the more conservative route, just go up to 13. Does that end up being the same? That's only the same if they can get 2 cards in their yard. The thing is, I could also just walk into a Skullcrack if I don't use this right now. So go to 10 to their 4 cards. I mean, that's not great, honestly. We do have the combo in hand, though. Man, this Lavamancer is a real issue, honestly. We could try to Serum Visions. Yeah, that's too risky, though. That's definitely risky. Because if we let them untap with Grim Lavamancer one more time, you know, we could just be really dead. So I'm gonna go for the maybe more aggressive line here. Just try to get it off the board, and then gain 4 life. Of course, if their hand is total gas, yeah, that's gonna be tough. Sure. Yeah, attack is free here, but of course I'm going to block. Alright, looks like we survived on their turn, which is good. And now, I mean, yeah, we could be dead. Maybe Serum Visions to dig for some life gain is the correct move here, but let's just go ahead and get another blocker on the board. Oh, by the way that my opponent is moving here, ooh, we might be dead. Alright, Path to Exile doesn't do anything here, so we're at 6, opponent. What can you do? Alright, do you have it? Ooh, yeah, looks like they, yep, and they had it. Sure. Sure. Oddly enough, we lost the sideboarded game. It's very interesting. Okay, let's reassess here. Because I think we have a pretty good setup against them. We just, our draw just didn't line up too well there. I think we run it back though. I think our main board is pretty well positioned right now. Hopefully we'll see a timely or a ley line in this game here. Because of course turn 4 drop a ley line is really strong. See, we have Path to answer a turn 1 threat, and then we have turn 2 Spreading Seas. But that's just not powerful. And then, you know what, 3 Saheelis? I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this. This hand is actually significantly better. We'll go ahead and bottom land. We don't have turn 1 removal, but, yep, let's see what our opponent can do to us here. Okay, Spreading Seas. I'm actually going to go for the Spreading Seas here. This will take them off of double Eidolon. Or, excuse me, single Eidolon. And it also slowed down the speed at which they can deploy their spells. Yep. And hopefully you can set up a turn where we can actually... Wow, timely. Oh my gosh, do I just want to go for that here? Can I wait? Could wait. I could just Spreading Seas, slow him down. There's a ley line too, so we're on track here to Yep, lightning bolt me, sure. But now this will slow them down enough to hopefully just be casting 1 spell a turn. Alright. Let's start with Timely when they're tapped out from red. And now we're back up to 16. Hopefully we'll be able to land a ley line soon. Alright. So they had a lot of lands this draw. That's not always the case. But if they have a lot of lands, it means they don't have burn spells. So here we'll just chump a bit. Hope to draw plains. Because a verdict on this board would just be amazing. There's an Eidolon. Feldar Guardian. Not quite. Not quite what we need. Okay. Yeah, so we're in an uncomfortable position right now because we didn't hit our 4th mana. So what we could try to do here is flash in Snapcaster Mage and block the Eidolon. And I think that's okay. We're going to take 2 there. But if we want to be able to cast our spells down the road, we'll chump a bit here, try to minimize how much damage we're taking. And another Eidolon here would of course be very, very rough for us. Yep, alright. Land off the top. Jeez. Not like this, deck. Not like this, please. Shoot, yeah. We're not dead. We can try to make the same play next turn, but we're yeah, we're just gonna go for it. Try to. Alright, so if we dispel this, we're taking 2 less damage than we would. So I think we still... Alright, we have a plains. The only issue is, do we drop the ley line now? Alright, we can... This just came a turn too late, I think. But if we drop ley line... What card kills us? Because we can go Leyline, Skullcrack. Skullcrack kills us. If we go Blessed Alliance, Skullcrack still kills us. Let's see. If we go Verdict, what kills us? Not a lot, right? Does Boros Charm? Boros Charm kills us. Alright, this is tough. There's a lot of stuff that can kill us here. Of course. We could go Leyline, Verdict, Blessed Alliance, but that's asking to dodge a lot. And Skullcrack will kill us no matter what. Well, if we go Blessed Alliance, Skullcrack doesn't kill us, right? Like if we if we Blessed Alliance right now. I do think the best play is going to be Leyline. And just hope to dodge everything. Now, of course, the Goblin guy just kills us, though. Alright, Swift Spear. Oh, they can bolt themselves. Of course they can. Yep. Our opponent got us there. And we would have been dead no matter what we did, right? That plains just came way too late. Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. That's a really disheartening loss, considering we stole game 1 and we had much more power game 2. But we didn't draw the mana, unfortunately. And our draw lined up very poorly against our opponents. Alright, so thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next round.